Hey, for all the YouTube fans, this is a special event for you. I also want to dedicate this entire show for Hello John 99. Hey, what's up, my man? Thank you for looking for me. I'm looking for you, dude. What's up, Chris?
I usually do the intros to these shows. Like, are you trying to take over or something? I mean, this is like,
Dude,
I'm
we're
usually the
best
guy.
friend, right? This is CND channel. I will never do that to you. You know what? To show you, I not do that to you. I'm leaving. This is your show. This is your show. I'm leaving, alright?
I know
Why
my
would I do that
stuff.
to you, alright?
Please go to your sponsor.
Call business123.com. Oh, sorry. I'm
Okay,
leaving.
let me do
Alright?
that show.
Alright. Come on. Come sleep. You're tired. You're tired. You're tired. Tap doesn't work, man. Just sleep. Just sleep. Alright. Now we have a busy career. It feels good to sit in here. But wait a second. What do we do in here? You know what? Let me waking up. Hey, Chris, come on, wake up. It's over here. Alright, wake up, dude. Wake up. Come on. We need to do the show. Wake up. Dude, we do this show for John, man. For John. Come on, for our fans. Everybody's watching. You're wasting time. Come on.
Okay.
How many fingers this?
Go business 1, 2, 3.
Go business123.com. You got it. Alright, John. We back on track. Alright, so first question for Hello John 99 from YouTube.
Oh, yeah, hello, John 99.
Yeah, John, right?
Yeah, John.
John, okay. You okay, right?
Yeah.
Alright,
Okay.
so John was asking, what are your thoughts on Frankie Edgar versus Gilbert Melendez?
Oh man, Gilbert Melendez versus Frankie Edgar, man. Oh jeez, you got the Strikeforce lightweight champion versus the UFC champion. Both of them are on rolls, man. I mean, seriously, Gilbert Melendez just fought the second best consensus lightweight in the world in Shinya Aoki, and then Frank Edgar, I mean, twice beat BJ Penn. I mean, great fight stylistically too. You got wrestle boxers, with that are good everywhere. Good cardio, good chins. I mean, they're kind of mirror images of each other, but I'm gonna have to go with Frank Edgar in this fight. He has good head movement, and he's constantly moving. I feel he could take the fight to the ground on Melendez, but at the same time, Melendez can take Frankie down too, and he's good at keeping you down. Ask Rodrigo Dam. Melendez, good striking. He's been really using that jab really well lately. He's circling a lot better, especially learning from Josh Thompson. And his first fight, Thompson was doing a lot of push kicks. It's in the second fight. He's not doing as many push kicks anymore. And, Melendez's ground and pound, very strong. It's kind of like a gang initiation, to be perfectly honest. Frankie Edgar, though, he's just a scrapper. I mean, this guy's good everywhere, His stand-ups, crisp. The way he mixes stuff, I think he mixes stuff up better than Melendez. He'll use hands. He'll do a cut kick. He'll fake a takedown, go for a kick. I mean, he'll throw a couple strikes and then go for the takedown. I mean, I just feel that Edgar has a lot more variety than Melendez. Not to say Melendez can't win. Melendez can easily win this fight. I mean, a lot of people will say, like, oh, Frankie's in the UFC, he just beat BJ Penn, in the fashion that he did. He should dominate Melendez. No, this is a much different fight, with a person with equal, close to equal amount of skill. It's not an easy fight for Frank Edgar. Obviously not an easy fight for Gilbert Melendez, but I do have to give the edge to Frank Edgar if they ever fought.
Great. Alright, now following questions for the people who send the question to the CAD channel at gmail.com. So I hope I don't butcher your name. Victoria from Texas. Texas, man. I love Texas. Texas is awesome. The steak is this big, and our steak is this small. All right. Well, anyway, for Victoria.
Versus.
Oh, okay. Victoria, your question is how do you see the state women's MMA and where do you see it going?
Oh man, women's MMA. I'm actually a big proponent for women, or I really like women's MMA, and I think there's a lot of misconceptions about it too. I read it in an article in the C&D channel actually, but I'd like to talk about it here. One thing is a lot of people will look at women's basketball and women's boxing as why women's MMA won't be popular, and I think people have a point, but I think they don't look at it the whole picture. One thing is women's basketball is a team sport, and it's a standalone product. One thing is you already have a men's basketball team. Let's say you have the LA Lakers. Okay, well they represent that city, and then sometimes they represent that state. Well, what do you need the LA Sparks for? It's not. You already have this team with its history and its establishment, representing a city. You don't need the second team to do the same that's playing the same sport. MMA doesn't work that way though. It works on one-on-one fights. It's not a team thing, and that's really important. It allows that one person to stand out. There's standouts obviously in basketball teams, but in this case, there's the ability to hype a fight. You look at Gina Carano versus whoever. She gets massive ratings. She has the potential to draw pay-per-view buys, possibly. She does draw television ratings. When Carano fought Cyborg, seriously, that was huge. That was the biggest fight that women's MMA had. And it just really showed that there are people, I don't know if they're willing to pay money yet, but it did show that there's potential for it. That women's MMA does have, chances for the big fights. Does have, they do have chances to maybe make money and draw pay-per-view buys. The thing is, a lot of people will go to women's boxing as like a reason why, women's boxing didn't do well. Women's MMA is not going to do well. Well, one thing with boxing too is like, one thing, it's not that it's a niche product or anything. It is kind of on a decline. You know what I mean? It's a sport where one fighter is bigger than the organization, and therefore, how do you push the women when you have to push the main guy? You have to push the Tyson, or back in the day. Or right now, it's like you have to push the Mayweather or the Pacquiao. Well, where's the room to push the women fight? If they even have a women's boxing fight with that that's alongside the male fights. And I want to make one thing clear. I don't think women's MMA can make it as a standalone product. I really don't. I don't think you can just have a bunch of women's fights and expect that to make money. I don't think that it would work. I don't think that there's a huge enough audience that would actually put money to see that, unfortunately. However, I do like the current formula where you mix in the women's fights, alongside with the men's fights. It's like, okay, you have 5 main card bout, one of the fights is a woman fight. Cool, that works. One other thing is, it's getting bigger. I saw Misha Tate first. She made somewhere around like $10,000 fighting in a challenger show. $10,000. Hey, that's a year of work. Add in sponsorships. That's a year of work right there that she did. It's like minimum wage, but the thing is, it's a year of work for one fight. You know what I mean? There is money getting there now. And the thing is, you already have an Olympian. I forgot her name at the moment, but she's getting into MMA. now you have women athletes exist, and I can only imagine the limited amount of sports that allows them to make money but still keep that competitive drive. I mean, what can they really, what can a women athlete really go into? The soccer, basketball, but it really is special. It really is a specialized skill. Especially if you're a female Olympic wrestler, female, judoka, female Brazilian jiu-jitsu person, female kickboxer, female boxer. Hey, MMA. Look, there's money there too. People go where the money is. And, and that's the thing. That's why I think you're just going to get more higher level women fighting. Right now, you see a lot of fights that look like a female fight. I mean, even among the top fighters, Sarah Kaufman versus Modafferi, it was great. That slam was awesome. But like when they're clinching and they're fighting, I mean, there's something about it that really looks really unpolished. It very much seems like a women's fight. I'm not trying to be sexist or anything. It just, to be frank, it really looked like, like a women's fight. It still had that lack of polish. You look at Marlos Kunin versus Cyborg though, and actually that fight's pretty polished. It didn't really stand out as like 2 feet. Like if two guys were doing that same fight, it'd be a good fight. Like it's, So the point I want to make though is that while I don't think that women will reach the height that men can in skill, that's not to say that they can't fight at a high level. Marlos Kunin actually has better technique than some UFC fighters. She punches a lot better. I've seen Sarah Kaufman. She moves her head as she strikes. A lot of UFC fighters don't. There is definitely potential for women to fight at least at a high level. We watch pro wrestling, and so some of the matches are really bad, but some of the matches are just like, some of the best matches of the night. Gail Kim versus Awesome Kong or something. Sarita and TNA, whoever. Trish Stratus back in the day. They just had good matches. It didn't come off like, unpolished or anything. They're just good matches, and I see that with women's MMA. There definitely is the potential, especially in the future. And I think I really do believe more women are getting into it too. You go to a gym, you'll see one. I was just sparring with a girl. She freaking did an inside leg kick to a hook on me, And yes, she connected, So, it's there. It's possible, And the girl I sparred against, she's blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I know she wants to be a fighter, but, it goes to show that women are interested. Whether some of them are just doing it to stay in shape, I'm sure some of these women actually want to compete. They're curious, It wouldn't surprise me. So yeah, I see good things from women's MMA. There's a lot of detractors, though. Understandably, I see it as a new weight class. I see it more like the beginning of the UFC. Kind of unpolished, but getting better, Slowly but surely, it's getting better. Bellator, 115-pound tournament, has like Megumi Fuji, Lisa Ward, some great female fighters, Strikeforce, 135 division is awesome. They're going to have Marlos Kunin versus Sarah Kaufman. Modafferi versus Sarah Kaufman. I want to see Kerry Vera versus Sarah Kaufman. Misha Tate, There's some good fighters there. The 145 division, Gina's not around. Cyborg's around just killing people. I don't know if you can find too many women that big, but eventually I think they will. There's potential for it. So yeah, I definitely see good things going for women's MMA for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. My girlfriend kicked my ass every time. Kicking my butt. Sorry. Again, women from MMA well respected. All right.
Well respected.